Yeah? Thank you for bearing with us. Shall I start?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Thank you, Transketeers. Thank you so much for bearing with us. It was a bit of technical issues, but I'm very happy that we are still here and that we can start the ceremony by now. We're here at the Prostitution Health Center. It's GGD Amsterdam and HVO Querido. It's an important space for trans sex workers, especially. And speaking of which, of course, at this moment, we are a very marginalized group within the community, in the LGBT community and in civil society. And unfortunately, our numbers are very high when it comes to the dead people who died this year and the years before. A special thank voor gemeente Amsterdam PNG 292, de Transketeers, TNN en Stichting Homo Monument, those who made it possible that we are here at this moment. It's a bit different, of course, but we are here and we hope that the connection and the community sense and the feeling of mourning and as well introspective to what happens to all of us trans people during a year, that this is a moment where you can all feel the connection with each other, even when it's so difficult in these times, and that we still have a moment where we can also listen to the names of those who unfortunately are fallen. I want to introduce some speakers, the persons that are working with us, with Trans United, who organizes this with people who are going to have speeches, people who have been sending us very beautiful portraits. And those people, I just wanted to name them because maybe we forget it later and that's not good. We have Naira here, who is going to read out the names, Patri Johansson and Bjorn G. Veldkamp, co-chair. And we have beautiful portraits by Olaf Bassebosa, Erika Castellanos and Nancy. I think I'm just wanted to introduce the first person who is coming, and Olaf is in Brussels. Olaf is a very dear and fantastic activist, someone we work with, also a board member of Trans United. And I think you will all be very moved by hearing the beautiful words of Olaf Bassebosa.
I can still remember the very first time I attended the Tidor memorial. This was about 6-7 years ago. And I can still remember very clearly that day because that same week I had come out to myself as a trans woman. A few days later, I was invited by a friend who I had told that I was trans. He was like, hey, you should come to the Transgender Remembrance Day in Amsterdam. And I went. It was a very emotional period. And I have to say that ever since, I've gone to every single Tidor remembrance since then, every year. For many years, I felt really kind of a bit bitter about the fact that my very first Tidor event was also my very first meeting and encounter with other trans people. And that it was that I went from the euphoria of embracing my transness to basically having to accept that being trans is sometimes a death penalty of some sorts. It's been 6-7 years now. And, 2020 has been another year of very painful realizations. When the virus, sort of started spreading and the world went into lockdown, I remember noticing people around me and thinking, this social distancing thing is something that I kind of am used to, living by myself, having to be careful about going outside, about people being physically close to me, having to avoid public transportation, having to avoid physical intimacy, were all things I realized quite quickly were already part of my life as a trans person. Then the consequences of the virus, of the pandemic, the consequences of the lockdown also felt very familiar to me. Everybody around me was in a panic about having insecure income, about having insecure housing, about having precarity as the basis of the ways in which they move through the world. Even people being worried about, adequate access to healthcare. People being worried about being ill and getting good quality healthcare. These were all things that felt very familiar as a trans person. 2020 had more for us to deal with. When George Floyd was murdered, as many other Black people have been very visibly, publicly lynched over our histories, but also at my modern time, whether it is Black people, unarmed Black people in Americas, or people migrating and being allowed or being forced to drown in the Mediterranean Sea, to seeing Black people being forcefully deported and being sent to their death or dying during the deportation process. George Floyd, the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, the uprising, reminded me once again that it is quite a scary thing to be a Black trans person. I was further reminded of how dangerous it is when I saw Black trans women being attacked by other Black activists that were with them in the streets, advocating for their freedom and for their safety and for their lives to matter. It's been a very intense year. And just a few weeks ago, I read that 350 trans people have been officially murdered this year. One of them being someone very close, someone very recently in the Netherlands, we lost a trans woman. And, I'm sometimes petrified. I'm sometimes feel like almost paralyzed by this fear of death, of violence that is our everyday lives. So when I was asked to speak tonight, I was scared that I might not have anything uplifting, beautiful, inspiring to say other than that I'm scared. I'm scared for myself, but I'm also scared for you. So I did some digging and looking for ways to tell you something that I hope can contribute to your sense of hope in this world. And I find myself thinking about the amazing things I've seen trans people do this last year. The amazing amount of support I've seen trans people have for each other during this pandemic. I've seen trans people like Dina Bones work tirelessly to make, to create funds for trans sex workers around Europe to have access to them. I've seen trans activists advocate in Hungary, in Ireland, in UK, in Poland, in Ukraine, for their community to be protected, to be dignified, to be respected in these difficult times. I've seen one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life was more than 15,000 people showing up
I live in the Netherlands
New York
now for almost
for the
2.5
Black Trans
years.
Lives Matter demonstration. There's many things we've done this last year, not the least of which was actually survive this last year. So I'm proud. And if there's any hope I can give you, I can share with you, is the hope and the pride that I have in what you, this beautiful, international, ferociously, resilient, brave community of trans people do every year over and over again. And what I want to do tonight is thank you for giving me this hope. Thank you for giving me this pride. I wish you all I wish you all community and love and support on this very difficult day. And I wish you all a lot of hope. Thank you.
Important words. Olava, who we wanted to thank you as well for all the work you do on the anti-racism, the trans activism, and all the beautiful writing that you do from Brussels. To the next speaker. The next speaker is Erika Castellanos. She is a trans woman from Belize. She lives here in the Netherlands, and she's a very special activist, a wonderful woman who works for GATE, the International Trans Advocacy Organization. She does amazing work on HIV and AIDS, and this is a really important topic that's still very taboo and stigma within the trans community. And I think one of the most inspiring persons that I know, I really would like to give the floor to our beautiful woman, Erika Castellanos.
My name is Erika Castellanos. I'm a transgender woman living with HIV from Belize. I live in the Netherlands now for almost 2.5 years. I work as Director of Programs at GATE, the Global Action for Trans Equality. We work with trans and intersex organizing, and I do a lot of work, particularly in health areas around HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria, and universal health coverage. Many years ago, particularly around the early 90s, when I was diagnosed with HIV in 1995, activism looked very different than how it looks now. Going to a hospital was a pretty much depressing experience. There was not a lot of medication, and services were very limited, so you saw a lot of people in very harsh and extreme conditions. And amidst that environment, I met a woman who had a child. They were both HIV positive, and she couldn't stop laughing and making jokes about life, about HIV itself. And it occurred to me at that moment that if there's anything I can do in life, at least it's gonna be bringing a smile to other people. So it became my life goal that if I can improve one thing for one person, I feel satisfied. I'm a transgender woman who had to migrate to another country, who had to do survival sex work, who did drugs, who ended up being incarcerated, who is HIV positive. And when I was younger, I had a small group of friends who we would help and protect each other. All but 2 of us are alive now. The rest are either dead because of HIV complications or killed. So I consider myself lucky. I consider myself someone that has gone beyond the statistics. I'm not just a number though. I want to make that message really clear. I'm not a number, I'm a human being. Looking at the statistics of Transgender Day of Remembrance, we see that 62% of the persons reported killed had done sex work. They were sex workers. This is very tragic. Transgender people engage in sex work not always because we want, but because we are pushed to. Society, the states, they oppress us. The lack of education, the lack of equal opportunity, the lack of gender identity laws push us to engage in survival sex work, and that puts us more at risk. This year, we have learned important lessons. COVID-19 has disrupted a lot of our work and has put us backwards in some of the issues that we hold dear. Some governments have used COVID as an excuse to further oppress us, to put policies and laws in place that further isolates us in society. Countries have taken the opportunity to pass laws and legislation that affect us negatively and don't allow us to enjoy our human rights. My goal is that in the future, the trans movement is going to be so resilient, so powerful, and so strong that no storm can take us off track to enjoying and fulfilling our human rights.
Thank you so much. We are now going to the list of names of all those who are no longer with us. It's always a very heavy moment within the T-door, so I want you to all, like sit and have a comfortable place, and like you can sit now in your own space, remembering as well and listening to the words and the names. The names, of course, of people who are now named by the name that they lived and by the gender identity that they wished. We all know that this is not always the case for people when they are reported murdered, that media puts them in a different frame, that families sometimes wants to silence, they don't want to speak about the transgender identity or at all about it. And I think it's our moment of our community. We have the right to do this, and I want you to start together with Byung-ji. Byung-ji is the co-chair as well of Trans United. She has been working for a very, very long time on the side of trying to emancipate, empower, especially all trans people, but especially the black and people of color. Byung-ji.
Thank you, Dina. No name, no age reported, Mexico. No name, no age reported, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Brazil. Paula Arario, 31 years, Brazil. Ronnie Gonzalez, 47 years old, Brazil. Solat Fernandez, 40 years, Paraguay. Michelle Almeida, age not reported, Brazil. Ladifa, 30 years old, Colombia. Fidalia Monalina Delgado, 35 years, Guatemala. Julia, 30, Brazil. Deborah Carranza, 40, Honduras. Hamza, no age reported, India. No name, no age, El Salvador. Romantic, no age reported, Brazil. Michelle Falfera, no age reported, Brazil. Lorena Finense, 23 years old, Brazil. Brianna Hill, 30 years, USA. Lina Marcela James Garandos, 26, Colombia. De da Silva, 40-year-old, Brazil. No name, 47, Mexico. Chicho Chironos, 49, Argentina. Anya Miranda Rifas, 27, El Salvador. Bruna, 30 years old, Brazil. Bruna Solares, 23 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Mexico. No name, 43 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Paula Santos, 26, Brazil. Jada Camila Diaz, 27, El Salvador. Bright Hitch Miron, 15 years old, Guatemala. Perdrita, 47, Brazil. Dafina Kauna, 15, Brazil. Michelle N, no age reported, Mexico. Gisela Gorfala, 47, Argentina. Monica de la Torre, no age reported, Mexico. Jerica Rifaras Royce, 28 years old, Colombia. Victoria Panada, 28 years old, El Salvador. La Pomes, 41 years old, Colombia. Sarita, 40 years old, Brazil. Perdita, 20 years old, Brazil. Carol, no age reported, Brazil. Carol, no age reported, Mexico. Rafaela Sales, 26, Brazil. Isabelle Pardo, 23 years old, Brazil. Monica Calhu, 44 years old, Brazil. Alejandra, 38 years old, Mexico. No name, no age reported, Mexico. No name, age 28, El Salvador. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Mufa Alfala, 30 years old, El Salvador. L, 20 years old, Sweden. Nicole, 33 years old, Brazil. Marcela Bardina, 23 years old, Brazil. Veronica de Oliveira, age 40, Brazil. Lorena Martinez dos Santos, no age reported, Brazil. Nikki Kuhauser, 17 years old, USA. No name reported, no age reported, Mexico. Yara Nesbai, 33 years old, USA. Christy Conde Valdez, 28 years old, El Salvador. Kendall, 19 years old, Colombia. No name, 49 years old, Canada. Andrea Naheli, 46 years old, Mexico. Julie Berman, 51 years old, Canada. Luciana Robeldo, 32 years old, Argentina. Alice Nobrega, 30 years old, Brazil. Mia Perry, 26 years old, USA. Ailey Pimptel, no age reported, Brazil. Dustin Parker, 25-year-old, USA. Naramella, 27 years old, South Africa. Jennifer Alfila, 25 years old, Guatemala. Selena Peito, 37 years old, Brazil. Sampna, no age reported, India. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Andrea, 20 years, Brazil. Victoria dos Santos, 19 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Brazil. Hans Azevdo, 46 years old, Guatemala. Brenda Landurio, 24 years old, Colombia. Giselle Katrina, no age reported, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Brazil. Joara Rios, 40 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Brazil. Tamara, 24 years old, Russia. Paulia, 24 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Venezuela. Kimberly McRae, 69 years old, Australia. No name, 27, Mexico. Bright Michelle Alas, 25, El Salvador. Fabiola, no age reported, India. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Andreas, 20, Brazil. Ana Clara Lima, 30 years old, Brazil. No name, 25 years old, El Salvador. Aji Bilyu, 29 years old, Nepal. Hillary Medina, 22 years old, Colombia. Leticia, 17 years old, Brazil. Morgana Ribeiro, 37 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Colombia. Shakira, 27, Mexico. No name, no age reported, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Nathan, sorry. Maria de Bastos Lima, 37, Brazil. Wendela Bera Damrak, 25 years old, Brazil. Roberta Barjal, 50 years old, Argentina. Isabella Coles, 27 years old, Brazil. No name, no age reported, Mexico. Samantha De Fala, age 20 years old, Brazil. That were my names.
No name, no age reported. Natal, Brazil. Isabel Oliveira, no age reported. Monica Matias Chagas, 25 years old. Misao, Bela, Brazil. Bruna Carla, 23 years old. Quilombo, Brazil. Richely Silva, 25 years old. Kaira Mirin, Brazil. No name, no age reported. Uruapan, Mexico. Lara Argento, no age reported. Roma, Italy. Gabi, 21 years old. Anápolis, Brazil. Gabrieli Vandergel, 28 years old. Itaperuna, Brazil. Jessica Sarmiento, 38 years old, Paris, France. Bruna Andrade, 30 years old, Florianópolis, Brazil. María Eduarda Aires Díaz, 32 years old, Encruzilhada do Sul, Brazil. Alexa Murder, 29 years old, Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. No name, no age reported, Fortaleza, Brazil. No name, 31 years old, Araguari, Brazil. La Chachis, La Trocha, 32 years old, Zamora, Michoacán, México. Mamani Huamani, 44 years old, Arequipa, Perú. Menu, no age reporter, Gurugram, India. Alexia Freires Pereira, 28 years old, Betín, Brazil. Alexa Negrón Luciano, no age reported, Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Yampi Méndez Arocho, 19 years old, Moca, Puerto Rico. Carly Sasha Chinina Palomino, 33 years old, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Patsy Andrea, no age reporter, Chihuahua, México. Tita, 32 years old, La Unión, El Salvador. Coronel Guerrero, 32 years old, Emiliano Zapata, México. Talita, no age reporter, Belo Horizonte, Brasil. Ludmila Nacimiento dos Santos, not age reported, Alagoinhas, Brazil. Isadora, 51 years old, Belo Horizonte, Brazil. No name, no age reporter, Mexico City. No name, 31 years old, Embu Waku, Brazil. Stephanie Cardona Matias, 32 years old, Mixco, Guatemala. Valeria Belén, no age reporter, Americana, Brazil. No name, 30 years old, Chihuahua, México. BG, 28 years old, Bangalore, India. Monica Diamond, 34 years old, Charlotte, USA. Rafina Pimenta, 25 years old, Arapiraca, Brazil. Brittany, 25 years old, Sonora, Mexico. Paloma, 22 years old, Caraura, Brazil. La Marquesa, no age reporter, Minatitlan, Mexico. Kelly, 35 years old, Daniela Sauceda, no age reporter, Chihuahua, México. Carla Valentina, 25 years old, San Felipe, México. Naomi Nicole Lasoñare, 25 years old, Mexico City. No name, 30 years old, Cariacica, Brazil. Lexi, 33 years old. No name, 20 years old, El Zapote, Mexico. No name, 35 years old, Chihuahua, México. Luisa Sandoval Lemus, 24 years old, Puerto Barrios, Guatemala. Jennifer Alcántara, 34 years old, Dourados, Brazil. Fabiola Pereira Andrade, 48 years old, Jequié, Brazil. Raika Franca, 26 years old, Querencia, Brazil. Musa, 15 years old, Faisalabad, Pakistan. G.F. Do Nascimento Martins, 27 years old, Bajú, Brazil. Mira, 43 years old, Jakarta, Indonesia. No name, no age reporter, Ileus, Brazil. Sasha Santos, no age reporter, Aracaju, Brazil. Ana Karen Velasco Castellán, 25 years old, Veracruz, Mexico. Joanna Medger, 25 years old, Baltimore, USA. Luana Alves, 25 years old, Maje, Brazil. No name, 25 years old, Veracruz, Mexico. Leca Doberao, 33 years old, Patos, Brazil. Penelope Díaz Ramírez, 31 years old, Bayamón, Puerto Rico. Paloma Salas Jiménez, 33 years old, Barranquilla, Colombia. Mafer Marbella Santos, 28 years old, Amatitlán, Guatemala. No name, no age reporter, Uruapan, México. Leticia, 18 years old. Oscar, 28 years old, Tuxtepec, Osaka, México. Laila Peláez Sánchez, 26 years old, Querencia, Brazil. No names, 21 years old, Humacaco, Puerto Rico. Serena Angelique Velázquez Ramos, 32 years old, Humacao, Puerto Rico. Eduarda, 33 years old, Manhuacu, Brazil. No name, no age reporter, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Leto, no age reporter, Ileus, Brazil. MD Alberto, no age reporter, Pablo Nogues, Argentina. Natasha Lobato, 30 years old, Francisco Morato, Brazil. Diamante, 20 years old. Veracruz, México. Marianne Adrioli, No Age reporter, Osaka, Brazil. Jade dos Santos, 35 years old, Salvador, Brazil. Fernanda dos Souza Paiva, No Age reporter, Sobradinho, Brazil. Nina Pot, 28 years old, Sickenstone, USA. No name, no age reporter, Natal, Brazil. Luz Clara, 23 years old, La Ceiba, Honduras. L.J. Oregon, 20 years old, San Antonio, Texas, USA. Teresa C., 22 years old, Cozoloecapé, Mexico. Fabia Oliveira, 22 years old, São Domingos, Brazil. No name, not a reporter, Patinha and Muriel, Brazil. Ira was not a reporter, Jhelum, Pakistan. Jane Thompson, 33 years old, Colorado, USA. No names, no a reporter, San Mateo, Cupiltaltlán, Mexico. No name, 56 years old, Juiz de Fora, Brazil. Robertina Santos, 42 years old, Itabuna, Brazil. Arini, no age reporter, Warangal, India. Paula, no age reporter, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. No name, 33 years old, Fortaleza, Brazil. Jesusa Fidel Ventura Reyes, no age reporter, Veracruz, Mexico. No name, 30 years old, Taubate, Brazil. Carlota, no age reporter, Bello Horizonte, Nicaragua. Tony McDade, 38 years old, Tallahassee, USA. Crislaibe de Manaus, no age reporter, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Alejandra Monocuco, 39 years old, Bogotá, Colombia. Michael, no age reporter, Cancún, México. Fernanda Antelo, São Domingos, Brazil. No name, no age reporter, Patina M. Murel, Brazil. Irawas, no age reporter, Jhelum, Pakistan. Jane Thompson, 33 years old, Colorado, USA. No name, no age reporter, San Mateo, Capultitlán, Mexico. No name, 56 years old, Juiz de Fora, Brazil. Robertina Santos, 42 years old, Itabuna, Brazil. Arini, no AIDS reporter, Warangal, India. Paula, no AIDS reporter, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. No names, 32 years old, Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Selena Reyes Hernandez, 37 years old, Chicago, USA. Valentina Ferretti, no AIDS reporter, Salamanca, Guanajuato, Mexico. Jade, no AIDS reporter, Porto Real do Colégio, Brazil. Gran Paula, no AIDS reporter, Portobello, Brazil. Kayla Nunes, no AIDS reporter, Barra de Santa Rosa, Brazil. Luani Cal, no AIDS reporter, Camocim, Brazil. Rhea Milton, 25 years old, Ohio, USA. Dominique Rem Miefels, 27 years old, Philadelphia, USA. Kathleen, 22 years old, Salvador, Brazil. Essie Granlund, 26 years old, Vantaa, Finland. Ariadna Ojeda, 20 years old, Santa Marta, Colombia. Egypt Powers, 43 years old, Ohio, USA. Paulina, 18 years old, Anápolis, Brazil. Ariadna, no AIDS reporter, Santa Marta, Colombia. Brandy Carolina Brown, 30 years old, Barranquilla, Colombia. No names, 32 years old, Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Selena Reyes Hernandez, 37 years old, Chicago, USA. Valentina Ferretti, no AIDS reporter, Salamanca, Guanajuato, Mexico. Jade, no AIDS reporter, Porto Real do Colégio, Brazil. Gran Paula, no AIDS reporter, Portobello, Brazil. Kayla Nunes, no AIDS reporter, Barra de Santa Rosa, Brazil. Luani Cal, no AIDS reporter, Camocim, Brazil. Real Milton, Ohio, USA. That is all. Report for Ola Silver. Thank you.
I'm Nancy, I'm 27 years old, I'm from Lebanon. I live in the Netherlands in 3 years. I'm a transgender, refugee, Arab, Muslim from the Middle East. And I came here running away from Lebanon because of my identity as transgender. When I realized that I'm trans, I was around the age of 15. I started understanding more that trans life in a country like Lebanon is not only not easy, but it's almost impossible. And at that moment, my suffering started when I got rejected by my family and by the people in my surrounding. After years of suffering, I wanted to just go, and I attempted suicide more than one time, and then with the help of an organization was able to come to the Netherlands to ask for asylum. So for me it was not only necessary to move here, it was my only option to move here. Actually, the reason why I chose the Netherlands between all the European countries is because of this image I had about the Netherlands, that it was the first country that, that gave the right for gay people to, for gay marriage. So I had really high expectations. I was shocked, actually, when I came here. I was hoping that I would find a society where, as a trans person, I can be treated equally with anyone else. And I was a bit shocked. I got discriminated on the streets, harassed physically, verbally, more than one time. The police institution didn't do anything about it. I tried to report it more than one time, and till now I never got any action from the police. I hate to say this, but I'm used to not feeling safe, and it gets tiring and it gets frustrating. All these days that I've felt that I have to hide in my room, avoiding going out, canceling appointments. I'm sick of it. I'm really tired. It feels kind of that in this society they will give me, as a trans person, as a refugee, a small piece of the cake, and that I have to be really glad that I'm getting that and really thankful. And that if I try to ask that I want the whole cake, they don't want to hear that. They want me to be happy with this little bit I get. They want me to be thankful for getting some of my rights. But if I want to ask for all of my rights, that's not okay. And I want all my rights. If this is the best place in the entire world for trans people, I am really disappointed. I really think that there's still a lot of fighting that we need to get our rights as trans people. Any trans person, I consider personally an activist. We do have to face stares in the streets. We do have sometimes to explain for a lot of people. And that is for me actually activism. Transgender Day of Remembrance does make me feel that with all the incidents that happened with me here in the Netherlands, that I am heard, that I am seen. Last year when I went to the church and I started hearing this, the names of these trans people that were murdered, it was something that I cannot describe. I couldn't believe that is only the number of cases that are reported, but there would be more, and the number was already really high. I started like thinking that every name that is being read has a story behind it. And I started imagining how these trans people lived, how much they suffered until they were murdered. It makes me remember that we're still not there.
Bastos da Silva, age 28, Brazil. Aisu Mamadili, age 28, Azerbaijan. M.A. Saravia, age 26, Honduras. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Babalu, age 40, Brazil. Brayla Stone, age 17, USA. Anel Valenzuela, age 45, Mexico. Lady Gaga, age 30, Brazil. Marceli Sousa, age 41, Brazil. Fernanda Machado, age not reported, Brazil. No name, age 23, Brazil. Eileen Catalina, age 21, Colombia. Veronica Ferreira Lima, age not reported, Brazil. Mercy Mack, age 22, USA. Shaki Peters, age 32, USA. Vicky dos Santos, age 22, Brazil. Vida Borges de Melo, age not reported, Brazil. Bree Black, age 27, USA. Yandra Caroni Santos, age not reported, Brazil. Mateos Lopez Magia, age 25, Colombia. Summer Taylor, age 24, USA. No name, not reported, Colombia. Kaushik Sunil Narayan Kar, age 17, India. Carol Eleuterio da Silva, age 36, Brazil. Lady Padilla Daza, age 41, Colombia. Scarlett Cáceres, age 22, Honduras. Crystal Romeo Matos, age 52, Peru. Soraya Oliveira, age not reported, Brazil. Marilyn Casares, age 22, USA. Tiffany Alves Medeiros, age 51, Brazil. Leona, age not reported, Brazil. Boom Boom, age not reported, Brazil. Rihanna Mabeli Spanik, age 20, Brazil. Manuela de Casia, age 48, Italy. Stephanie Dior, age 36, Italy. Pablo Ivan F., age 21, Mexico. Monique Martinez, age 44, Honduras. Exxon Velez, age not reported, Ecuador. Tiffany Harris, age 32, USA. Dorothy Balbino de Lima, age 40, Brazil. Queisha D. Hardy, age 22, USA. Denise Torres, age 39, Mexico. Crystal Lopez, age 30, Honduras. Asha Raquel Ron Spears, age 32, USA. Rayane Rodriguez dos Reis, age 46, Brazil. Jocelyn, age 26, Guatemala. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Brenda Venegas Aiquipa, age 52, Peru. Luisa Avila Henao, age 23, Colombia. No name, age not reported, Brazil. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Samira, age not reported, Brazil. Paloma, age not reported, Brazil. No name, age 15, Brazil. Alice Garrefa, age not reported, Brazil. Brigitte, age 38, Mexico. Leticia Costa, age 29, Brazil. Vanessa Solosano, age 20, Argentina. Key Sam, age 24, USA. Barbara Ellen, age 53, Brazil. Samantha Rosales Barrios, age 23, Mexico. Anushka, 35, India. Bhavani, age 34, India. Francesca Galatro, age 66, Italy. Emily Taylor, age 26, Brazil. Pia, age 20, Pakistan. Danny Rodriguez, age 20, Brazil. Patricia Dumont, age not reported, Colombia. Julie Torres, age not reported, Mexico. Claudina Leite, age 20, Brazil. Bernadette, age not reported, Brazil. Lorena Maria del Lujan Riquel, age 39, Argentina. Luara Redfeld, age 23, Brazil. No name, age not reported, Argentina. Isabella Pedroso, age 22, Brazil. No name, age 30, Mexico. Angori, age not reported, Pakistan. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Brittany Jacqueline, age not reported, Mexico. Brandy Cortez, age not reported, Mexico. No name, age not reported, Mexico. No name, age 30, Mexico. Janine Huerta Lopez, age not reported, Mexico. Nida Churdi, age not reported, Pakistan. Branca Aldama, age 37, Brazil. Melody Barrera, age 23, age 27, Argentina. Brenda Levy, age 52, Peru. No name, age 30, Mexico. Mireya Rodriguez, age not reported, Mexico. Kiara Duarte, age 27, Brazil. Catherine Rosemary Duval, age not reported, Salvador. Gabriela Cruz Pimentel, age 46, Peru. Hector Joshi, age 41, India. Leslie Alejandra Ferretti, age not reported, Mexico. Giovanna Perez, age not reported, Brazil. Kathleen Aviles, age 30, Philippines. B.E. Alvarez Hernandez, age 25, Colombia. Gul Parana, age 35, Pakistan. Sar, age 32, Pakistan. Nem, age 33, Brazil. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Susana Criado Anton, age 60, Spain. Yardiele Santos, age 24, Brazil. No name, age not reported, Mexico. No name, age not reported, Brazil. Aerion Burnett, age 37, USA. Bobby Macon, age 34, Brazil. RV, age 24, Dominican Republic. Brenda Sanchez, age 35, Argentina. Juliana Riraldo Diaz, age 38, Colombia. Santa Beatriz Rangel, age 23, Brazil. Francesca Cornejo, age 63, Argentina. Mia Green, age 29, USA. Raisa, age not reported, Brazil. Donna Niera, age 23, Philippines. Micheline Ramos Vargas, age 35, Puerto Rico. Michelle, age not reported, Brazil. This week, Oscar Bilier, aged 25, the Netherlands. Uni Carey, aged 39 years, USA.
And here we are at the end of the ceremony, with the names. We wanted to have a moment that you at home can create your own little moment to think about what you've heard and to make it in your house, to give it a special space, if possible. We will light a candle in the memory of all those names that you've just heard. And we wish their memories will be a blessing to our community. And their memories as well. Shall we take one moment, a minute of silence? Under the circumstances that we had the possibility, I want to thank everyone who participated, as well everybody at home for being with us. A wish that I have for all of us in our community, that we build bridges, that we are strong and that are strong and that may connect us even when there are differences. I think it's really important in this period of time where everything is so dangerous to really keep tight and fight for our rights and advocate for everything we need. There is a possibility to have a check-in